Okay, so we have two kita panggil this is a pituitary hormone. So when talking about pituitary hormone, we have a disease like apa dia? Acromegaly, giantism, stunted growth. Okay, when there you lack of or reduce the growth hormone, so you have problem of uh, growing, meaning that you become stunted, pendek, stunted apa? Katik katik, okay. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, so that is the disease. I think by now I think you know. So we have a somatotrop that actually replacing the pituitary. So and we have an analog, somatostatin analog. I hope. Hello.
Dalam bilik. Kat luar.
Dengar. Saya dengar sesuatu pula. Okay. So this one, the one from this actually you can see that the trying to mimic the pituitary hormones. Okay, good. It can be dopamine. Dopamine, we're talking about the prolactin. Agonist actually block the prolactin. Even in case of hyperprolactinemia, gonadotropin, gonad, meaning that our reproductive, like ovary, testes, okay? And then corticotropins, see actually cortico is the cortex of the adrenal gland. Tropin, the tropins meaning that it actually control or enhance, stimulate the growth as well as the well-being of that organ. So gonad, so that stimulate the growth as well as the well-being. Well-being meaning that the punya well-being, cakap apa lagi, kesihatan, that gonad, okay, corticotropin, the normal function of this, okay. This one is all anterior pituitary, the analogs or the antagonists of the anterior. This one, vasopressin, oxytocin, is the posterior. I think that is the thing. I mean, the thing that is a pituitary. Okay, pituitary. This one is hypothalamic. Okay, when you see this releasing hormone R meaning that it comes from the hypothalamic. So this hypothalamic, I think by now you tahu kan, hypothalamic, and then goes to pituitary, and the pituitary go to the target organ, such as like our thyroid, our adrenal gland, ovary, okay, and testes. So that's the target organ. I mean, so if we say that it's a primary disorder of the adrenal gland, meaning that the adrenal gland is problem. The secondary, it goes to pituitary. The tertiary disorder goes to the hypothalamic. So this one is the highest hypothalamic. Okay. So we have the gonadorelin. So gonad. So at the level of hypothalamic, the releasing hormone, we can agonize and antagonize the effect of this hormone. Synthetics only this antagonize. This one, the first two is agonist. Okay. I just mention nanti you baca. So growth hormone and somatotropin. Somato badan. I mean our body. So, tropin again, the troph. Okay. Talking about the things that stimulate and maintain the well-being of our thing. So growth hormone. So we have recombinant. Ni bukan releasing recombinant human growth hormone, meaning that we produce a growth hormone. Okay, growth hormone, the same sequence, the protein sequence, but we use the recombinant technology. Okay, so we have this GH, and we also have a somatropin or somatotropin. That is a different from the ni because of dia punya apa the sequence different the amino acid peptide of GH different depending sikit, okay. So we have this. There is a somatotropin. So we have to preparation on if the patient have a deficiency or reduced growth hormone, we have this, okay. So indication this one short stature lah tadi. So macam-macam. Before the epiphyseal plate close in children. Kenapa in children? Because we are talking about this epiphyseal plate punya function, I mean yet to be closed, okay. Itu kalau dah tu bangkanya ni meaning that you tinggi tu lah. You stimulate dia tak boleh. Kalau you bagi juga you become acromegaly. Bahaya lah acromegaly, okay. Dah lain pula, okay. So these children and then short bowel syndrome. I just mentioned, I think by now, Doctor, I just give the ideas, okay, what the thing, I mean, these particular hormones or agonists being used, okay, or antagonists. So toxicity in children, so it can cause intracranial, you can read, okay, intracranial hypertension, meaning that blood pressure increase in the inside the cranium, in the brain. Ini toxicolosis. Sclerosis ni bengkok-bengkok badan sebabkan dia cepat sangat tinggi, okay, because of the growth, I mean the growth hormone above the average, okay, meaning that he stimulate rapid growth, so he become, kalau pokok tu dia jadi melentur gitu. So this sclerosis of the kita panggil apa ni, spine, okay. Dia toxicity in adult also, kalau bin carpal tunnel syndrome, peripheral edema, so all these things are this toxicity. I dah mention gitu ya. You can read contraindicated in hypothyroidism, ini problem because it make the thing severe. Pancreatitis, gynecomastia, and patient with a known malignancy. That is contraindicated for the GH preparation, growth hormone preparation, either the one that recombinant or the analog tadi, somatotropin analogs. Okay, settle. That is the agonist, the antagonist. So we have a somatostatin analogs. Okay, you know somatostatin is actually the endogenous hormones that act kata orang apa, antagonistically with the GH, growth hormone. Okay, so we have a octreotide acetates. So these are somatostatin analogs. And the other one is antagonist at the receptors. So we have this Somavet or Pegvisomant. Okay, so how it works, actually this one is physiologically antagonized. This one is receptor blocking at the receptors in order to reduce the activity of growth hormone. Now in this case where the growth hormone is abnormally high, so we want to block. Tadi yang stunted reduced stature tadi due to the growth hormone less, so we give the analogs as well as the recombinant growth hormones. Okay, so this one we just logically lah. Okay, so that's it. I think easy, straightforward. So the indication, so meaning that is indicated in acromegaly when in adult where there is an increased growth hormone, okay, most of the time due to their pituitary adenomas. Okay, so there is a increased secretions of growth hormone. So we have this action. We need to irradiate or surgical resection, meaning to remove that adenomas. I think by now Dr. Sanda already taught you but regarding this. Okay, so meaning that these somatostatin analogs, okay, been used in adjunct with other treatment in terms of acromegaly. So carcinoid tumors, so this more towards symptomatic treatment, tadi adjunct treatment, where this actually can cause diarrhea, flushing. So we use this somatostatin analogs, okay, and also vasoactive peptide punya apa? Symptoms. Okay. I think I tak nak ni Dr. apa dah Chandra dah ajar. Okay. So what is somatostatin analog? Somatostatin. Tadi trophic trophic ni statin. It's static. Okay. Analog. Dah dua double terbalik. I think don't confuse Don't confuse This for the somatostatin analogs, meaning that physiologically this somatostatin is kita panggil apa, perlawanan, and antagonize the growth hormone. So we have the analog of the somatostatin. Okay, we have this analog. Ada orang kacau pula ni. Tersekat. Allah. Mana yang tersekat? Okay. Susah betul ni. Tersekat pula. Okay. You kena prom ni lah. Oh, adalah student kat rumah ni prom tu lah. Tadi student ekonomi pula masuk saya punya lecture ni. Pasal. Okay. Okay. Macam mana budak gombak boleh masuk saya punya lecture ni? Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, but it's more talking about the somatostatin. SST is the natural hormone, but we have the analogs. Okay. In terms of potensi, is more potent. Sebenarnya efficacy, saya pun kadang silap guna. The efficacy of inhibiting the growth hormone is more by using this analog when compared with the natural somatostatin. Okay. And also works at the, because it's physiologically, nama pun dia melawan pertumbuhan. Okay. Physiologically. So that's why it not just work on the growth hormone, also glucagon and also insulin. So ni dia how it works, suppresses kita panggil luteinizing hormone. Okay. By maknanya dia tak respond with the gonadotropin releasing hormone. This one is from the hypothalamus, this one is from the pituitary. Okay. So decrease the splanchnic blood flow, so that's why it able to reduce tadi diarrhea due to tadi all the disease, the indication. Inhibit release of serotonin, gastrin, this one diarrhea tadi lah, vasoactive intestinal peptide that can cause profuse diarrhea. Okay, it's different diarrhea. If you still remember, I told you when we did the GIT kalau tak ingat tak? Kalau tak ingat tak apalah, macam mana. Okay, so okay. So the adverse effect, you can see that the side effect including diarrhea, nausea, abnormal weight, dia pun boleh menunjukkan diarrhea because any changes, imbalance. You know, because hormone is the coordinating ni is the imbalance when either they be reduced or increased because it's coordinating. Okay, when there is a miscommunication with the one that the target organ, okay, it become at the beginning sometimes it become a hair wire. Okay, dia macam terkejut. Okay, there is a up regression, down regression, so all these things because it's a coordinating, hormones is coordinating, and compare with a neurotransmitter. Okay, it does direct to the target organ. Okay, 35% patient develop growth. I tak nak baca lah sini. Okay, tidak nanti tak sempat ni 40 minit. Okay. And then we go to the receptor antagonist. Tadi our analog works as somatostatin. This one, our drugs or medicines, okay, it actually antagonize he actually, how he antagonize, okay, he resemble the growth hormone in terms of structures, but when he attach, it actually not really, he block the attachment of the normal growth hormone. Our body lah, endogenous growth hormone, they block, they attach because it's the same. Remember, if talking about receptors, we're talking about the lock and key. Is it? So it complement the structures of this GH receptor resembles the endogenous growth hormone. So it block, okay. So meaning that it block the attachment of the growth hormone, endogenous growth hormone. So that's why with this it reduce the activity or the stimulations of the growth hormone receptors. So how we reduce if there is an increased growth hormone secretion. So this the how this antagonist works. Okay, we have one PAX-V Soman or Somawat. Okay, so selective binding, so decrease serum concentration. So they have also other effect with other growth factors. Okay, including prolactin. Okay, so indication. So in the acromegaly, in ADAP, where there is an increased growth hormone. So I think logic, and then this actually second line. You see that in patient who have not responded to the SST analog. So we remember the SST is more potent than the somatostatin, endogenous somatostatin. So we use it. Okay, if that particular patient, this particular medication fail, so we use this GH receptor antagonist. Okay, Somawat. Okay. So untuk contraindication, so this is okay. You boleh baca sendiri ya. So ni dopamin. Okay, remember prolactin. Okay, being controlled by the dopamine, isn't it? Dopamine, the release of dopamine control the prolactin release. Okay, so we active apa masalahnya prolactin ni? So it can cause can due to the galactoria. Galactoria maknanya keluar milk. So milk, susu. Okay. So we have this dopamine preparation agonist dopamine. We have a agot and non-agot. The non-agot, we have a quinagolide, bromocriptine and carbagolin is a agot derivative. Masalah agot ni adalah dia ada effects on the blood pressure. So indication, patient with hyperprolactinemia, okay, and then reduce the release in a patient with acromegaly. It can reduce. Okay, so meaning that an adjunct can give this dopamine agonist. Carbagolin and bromocriptine we use in Pakistan to improve the motor function. So that's another adjunct with the levodopa. So ada nanti issue levodopa when we do the CNS, we said that levodopa, even though it's a drug, the first drug of choice for the Parkinsonism, but sometimes it can kita panggil apa? There is a ceiling effect where it can that. So if they increase the dose, they have a problem of adverse effect. So we use this carbagolin and bromocriptine to improve, okay, the symptoms of the Parkinsonism, the disease of Parkinsonism. Okay. Ini dah drug of choice. So reduce size of pituitary prolactin secreting tumors. Is dopamine agonist. Okay. Lower circulating prolactin level. So this is how it helps in terms of tadi acromegaly. Sometimes due to the pituitary tumor adenomas. So it reduce the size. In treating acromegaly, dopamine that alone in combination with pituitary surgery again is an adjunct. The same tadi dopamine punya somatostatin as well as the antagonist of the GH. Okay. when we treat acromegaly. So, okay, I nak cakap apa Up oral version, okay. I'm talking about the, remember the ergot, this one is ergot, this one is, non-ergot, this one, bromocriptine, and this ergot. Okay. So, ini I nak cakap ni. Can cause cold-induced peripheral digital vasospasm. So, cardiovascular, meaning that will increase the, when there is a vasospasm, so there is a constrictions of the blood vessel. So the ergot derived preparation. Okay. Other than that, this the risk factor. Then tarik the issues. Okay, ini with regards of the patient with dopamine lah ni, hyperprolactinemia. Okay. It's safe during early weeks of pregnancy. Can continue and to suppress ni postpartum with again when we use the patient in the lactating mother lah ni, okay, with a bromocriptine postpartum lactation to suppress, meaning that to reduce the milk. In some cases, okay, because sometimes it's too can cause very painful situation. Okay, we go to the gonadotropin. Okay, gonadotropin. Gonad meaning that the ovary as well as the testes, for the male, the female. Tropin, so meaning that it come from the ini target, so it come from the uterus, So we have a FSH, gonadotropins ni ada S, FSH and also LH. These are gonadotropin. So follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, by now you tahulah kan fisiologi saya tak nak cakap tu lah. So meaning that in this particular problem, okay, when there is a reduce of gonadotropin or dipanggil infertility, the patient unable to ovulate, so we need this treatment lah. Itu je cakap. Yang ini you kena more or less like a physiology lah. I tak nak lagi. Ini is a physiology of the gonadotropin in man, tadi in woman. How this FSH involved in spermatogenesis as well as how the well-being of the testis and how the process of producing testosterone. Okay, so ini more the physiology. Of course lah, the pharmacology related with the physiology because the effects, because you want to give the medications or the agents mimics the hormones, the endogenous hormones. So meaning that it more or less the same lah, the effects of this preparation, the drugs more or less the same with endogenous gonadotropin. So in terms of follicle stimulating hormone, we have preparation, we call it urofolitropin, UFSH. Okay. So this particular urofolin is extracted from the urine of postmenopausal woman. Berguna juga perempuan, okay? Walaupun even though dah menopause, okay? In terms of uro extract, tapi ni ada masalah lah kan? That's why people don't like it. So there is another recombinant because we have a recombinant technology by using DNA. Okay, so we can produce the recombinant follicle stimulating hormone, not from the urine anymore, from this. Okay, but yet we have both. Okay, in the market. And then the second luteinizing hormone, we call it lutrophin alpha. We have lutrophin alpha. This is a recombinant form. Okay, bukan air kencing atau apa. Okay. So again, it used to replace if there is a reduced luteinizing hormone. Another one is human chronic gonadotropin, SHG. Again, is used is human chronic as a gonadotropin because this HCG also have a gonadotropin gonadotropin punya effects. So indication ini are used to induce ovulation. So tadi problem kan when the patient have problem of ovulation due to the reduced gonadotropin. So we have this, okay, gonadotropin to as a remedy or to stimulate the ovulation. So inilah apogonadism boleh segini. So just read it. And gonadotropin also used for control ovarian hyperstimulations. Okay. In term of sterility, the patient ovulate but not really not really normal. So have a difficulty to conceive or to have the patient will go this one, control ovarian hyperstimulation. So to increase the chances to ovulate as well as to have a children. Okay. And then there is the adverse effect. Dia boleh terbalik lah. The ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Terlalu lebih hyperstimulate. Okay. So it can cause ovarian enlargement, ascites, endarothorax. So this is call it the ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. And cause multiple pregnancy. Ada orang kata baguslah bantu is a disease multiple pregnancy. If you have a twin is not normal pregnancy, is abnormal. Okay, manusia bukan macam lembu pun satu anak Yang banyak anak apa? Yang keluar-keluar banyak macam tikus, okay? Kita bukan macam tikus banyak keluar, okay? So it's normal, but we are not normal if we have a multiple pregnancy. So gonadotropin can cause multiple pregnancy. Okay? Itu baiknya. Headache, depression, edema, precocious puberty. Puberty ni maksudnya you matang awal, okay? Umur 4 tahun, 5 tahun dah menses. Okay? Okay, that's the thing. So you can cause because of you punya gonadotropin. And then male infertility, okay? If ini indication okay, men requires the activity of both. So dia akan we can use this gonadotropin in a male infertility. So this is the adverse effect of this ni. Okay, male ni satu slide ni je. Indication and the adverse effect. Okay, risk of gynecomastia. Masalah because the testosterone male have the estrogen juga okay, from the adrenal gland. Okay, so if there is an imbalance imbalance of testosterone and this estrogen, it can cause gynecomastia. Yeah. Now we go to the releasing hormone. Now we go to the hypothalamic problem. Okay, gonadotropin releasing hormone. So this releasing hormone control the gonadotropin. Okay, from the pituitary. Tadi pituitary lebih kurang. So this case also happen in term of reduce reproductive capacity, capability. Mana you tak boleh conceive, you have a problem to have a children. So sometimes we use this. If it depends which due to the problem is due to the hypothalamus, pituitary. Pituitary, we just give the gonadotropin. Okay. So if the ovary, so you have to give the estrogen progesterone. So that's it. Okay. So this one, hypothalamus hormone. Okay, the continuous emission of the leads to desensitizations and downregulation of. Okay, in this particular issues, releasing hormone when we give sustain, the thing should be released in an impulse manner, or we call it not really sustain. If sustain, there is a down regulation at the pituitary. So meaning that the receptors that been stimulated by the releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, okay, the sustained stimulation cause the desensitizations of the receptors. So the receptor no longer dia jadi pekak. Okay, dia tak tahu je, okay. and down regulation, so become less efficient. So meaning that it's become less, meaning that the pituitary gonadotropin, okay, become lesser than, because you sustain. You need to do the intermittent prescription or dispensing the to give the patient in terms of intermittently rather than give a sustained injections, whatever. So in a case of tadilah, kalau terlalu lebih, yes, apply clinical long-acting gonadotropin agonist to suppress the gonadotropin secretion. That's why. Nama, you can see it here, agonist, but it become, it's very useful to block the gonadotropin when we give the sustained release. Okay, because the process of down regulation and desensitization. Satu minit lagi. Okay, gonadotropin agonist, we have this gonadorelin. Ini selalu digunakan human, this synthetic human. This one is analog. Second, gasorelin, hysterelin. Only one. Gonadorelin is the human. The other one is the analog, is synthetic, not human. Okay. Okay, now the specific. So we have this preparation. So pulsatile intravenous immunization. Kenapa pulsatile? Yalah, if you want to treat orang the less gonadotropin, if you give sustain or continuously, it can cause, instead of stimulate, it actually inhibit. So that's why we use the pulsatile in terms of, if you want to prescribe or you want to correct the low FSH and LH. Okay. The continuous administration or its longer acting produce a biphasic response. Ni lah tadi. The first 70 days there is increase and then drop. This is an inhibitory action due to the down regulation. Okay, that is the issue. So this indication and female and male infertility, diagnosis of LH responsiveness. Okay, kita nak tengok macam mana this luteinizing hormone respond with the releasing hormone. We need to know what's the problem lah. Is it primary, tertiary or secondary problem? Okay. Sama juga ni. So endometriosis, so inilah dia. Okay. Ini gonadorelin is actually the one that releasing hormone, the human releasing hormone. These are the analog. You can give a subcutaneously, intramuscularly, nasal spray. Okay, these are the analogs. More kita pakai apa? In terms of the mode of administration, more variation when we compare with this gonadorelin. Okay, we use intravenous and subcutaneous only. Okay, this is the one. African use varies for a few days for ovulation induction, 2 years for treatment. So, but we need to do versatile or intermittent, continuous. Ini dia punya adverse effect. Okay, I think nothing to highlight. It's more or less this contraindication. Again, ada apa lagi nak highlight? You have to read and to understand the thing. And the last, the antagonist of the releasing hormone. We have a Ganirelax. This one inhibit the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone and LH. In case of increase, you have to block. So we have the antagonist. So in case of ovarian stimulation procedures, we want to control. We stimulate, but yet we want to more or less to avoid the ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome tadi. Okay, hydrothorax, whatever. So to avoid it, we more or less control with this antagonist. Okay. Ini Albarelax, they indicate in man with the advanced prostate cancer. So prostate cancer is sometimes due to the gonadotropin punya ni. Okay. So to block the growth of this cancer, we give this antagonist. Okay. So this antagonist been used suppression of gonadotropin production, advanced prostate. So tadi I mention Adverse effect, headaches. Okay, again Yeah, easy, straightforward. This CRF is corticotrophin releasing hormone. This actually the hormone that being used, the releasing hormone, to increase or to stimulate the adrenal gland. Okay, this is the ACTH is the adenocorticotrophin hormone. Okay, so ACTH. Okay, so I think ni tak ada rebel. You have to very straightforward lah. Corticotropin, this is corticotropin, adenocorticotropin. Okay, it has been released to be stimulated, makna the adrenal gland in turn cause the corticosteroid, all the corticosteroid, okay, have been released in the I tak ada apa lagi lah. Itu je lah. Contohnya. Corticotropin, I think straightforward lah because it's just merely not really direct the disease, not so many. Okay. So corticotropin again the same thing, similar to glucocorticoid is the hormone, the products of the target organ. The target organ is adrenal gland. So kalau you bagi corticotropin increase, so meaning that at the end of the day there is increased glucocorticoid secretion. So the adverse effect become obvious lah. I mean due to this glucocorticoid overproduction. So itu je. Yang selain pada tu, ni the painful swelling is more towards clinical lah, other than the physiological or pathophysiological effect. Contact again the same. Glucocorticoid is steroid, biasa steroid. That's why it suppress our body immune system, our healing system, so it can cause peptic ulcer. The version, if there is peptic ulcer, that's why we are contraindicated. Yeah, I think more or less logik. This oxytocin dia dah posterior, ada dua lagi ni. Okay, ada overshoot. Saya janji 5 minit lah. So oxytocin is a posterior pituitary, so it used in a labor and delivery. So you know that because it's contract the uterus. Ini dah masuk include the reproductive lah. Even though it endocrine, but we also mention in the reproduction. Labor and delivery. Labor ni beranak nak beranak, delivery dah terberanak. Okay, so labor and delivery. Okay, I think you can read so the issues. Then milk injections need in prolactin, the milk. Okay, the ejections of the milk need oxytocin. Okay, the two issue, ejection and then producing the milk. Producing milk, we need prolactin. Okay, while to eject the milk, we need oxytocin. Okay, so oxytocin, we can to induce the labor because it stimulates the uterus to contract. Okay, the contraction. So that's why it actually in the vaginal delivery lah. Okay, meaning that in normal thing. Okay, I tak nak go further. Nanti boleh bincang kemudian. To augment abnormal labor that is protracted or display and arrested. So that meaning that bersalin teran-teran mbak pun tak nak teran lagi. Okay, meaning that we have to augment that abnormal labor. Abnormal maknanya prolong labor. Tak keluar-keluar. Okay, so we use this oxytocin. In postpartum uterine bleeding, so this postpartum means already delivered. The baby already delivered. So the only thing you want to prevent the bleeding by contracting the uterus. Kalau tak contract, the bleeding will go on. So because physiologically, the uterus should contract, fully contract, so you can shut all the blood vessel. after the placenta being removed, okay, the blood supply to the still open. So you need that the uterus contract. When that's how we prevent the bleeding. Ini apa pasal jadi macam ini ni? You can't see my, is it? You can't see my slide ni. Tak tahu apa pasal ni.
Yes, doctor.
Boleh? Boleh?
I can see the slide, doctor.
Okey, tak apa-apa. Pintu, saya yang tak tengok, tak boleh ni. Ni apa pasal ni, okey? Never mind. Oh, kenapa jadi macam ni? I think I have a problem with my... Okay, never mind. So we go to the next slide, the last slide. Contraindication. Ni contraindication ni fetal distress. So meaning that if the fetal distress, the more we give oxytocin, the more the fetal distress. Okay, that's why. Prematurity, of course lah. Okay, abnormal fetal presentation, kita panggil songsang. Okay, so we cannot give oxytocin. Okay, so we actually cesarean section. We have to send the mother to cesarean section. Potong, okay. Cephalophilic portion, okay, kepala baby besar, okay, tak boleh lepas. So you cannot give the oxytocin. Okay, it can worsen, it can kill the baby as well as the mother if you give. Okay, so it can cause the uterine ruptures. Itulah uterine ruptures, meaning that the not the baby die, the mother also will have a problem. Okay, the last vasopressin is the posterior pituitary. Okay, so we can see that in the diabetes insipidus. Beza ya, diabetes mellitus ni diabetes insipidus. Okay, so where our blood is become hypertonic, but our body unable to retrieve the water, so the water goes out. So then the blood pressure will falling down. Okay, so the patients will present with a high volume of urine. Okay, but less in terms of the very copious cahaya. Okay, so that means vasopressin. Vasopressin, other name is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic, antidiuresis. Anti kencing lah dia panggil kan. So, antidiuretic. Okay. So how it work? We have a V2. I think kita dah belajar ni dengan when we learn kidney how we control the water, isn't it? At the collecting tubule. Okay, the V2 receptor. I tak nak pergi panjang-panjang. Okay, I dah terlebih masa ni. Itu nanti kena marah dengan Dr. Lian ni. Kenapa lebih-lebih ni? Okay, so it's 47 slide. I tak boleh nak macam mana lagi sangat pun. And then you tak baca pula pre-reading. So macam mana I nak buat? Okay. Indication, okay, vasopressin, okay. Actually, in the diabetes insipidus, also used in varicose, esophageal varicose bleeding. Bleeding from the esophagus punya varices. Varices tu maksudnya macam anal hemorrhoid. Okay, hemorrhoid. Dekat esophageal dipanggil variceal. Esophageal variceal. Okay, the same thing is actually bleeding from the blood vessels underneath of the submucosa. So we give this vasopressin, it actually able to contract, so reduce the bleeding. Okay, that's the Okay, colonic diverticulous bleeding, again the same thing. We need to contract the thing. We use this vasopressin. Okay. Desmopressin also used for the treatment of coagulopathy, hemophilia A, and von Willebrand disease. So it is all bleeding. Yeah. So okay. Ada lagi satu. Toxicity can cause headache, and you boleh baca lah. Apa tu? And last, thank you. Okay. I think aku 8:53. Okay. Sorry to hold you until 8:43. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask. If you do not have a question, you want to have your breakfast, lah makan itu. Okay. Lepas ada lecture lagi kan. Okay. So I give you. So don't forget to attendance. I taklim attendance. I give the QR code dengan apa? So you have to register yourself in the QR code tu. Okay. So anything? If not, I can conclude my lectures. Wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.